Let me tell you about the time where Young Money started talking about getting the cupboard. Boom, nah. I used to go to our nursery on Valeswood Road, yeah. Like, I only went there for about 3 weeks. One lady introduced me to the nursery. I said, okay, it's government funded. So I said, all right, let him go. It started off, get in the cupboard, get in the cupboard. And I was thinking, why does he always keep coming home every day talking about getting the cupboard? So one day now I'm sitting there proper listening to him now, and he's telling this, he's playing in his room, because I was in my room, he's in his room playing with his toys, and that's every minute, get in the cupboard, get in the cupboard, yeah. Bearing in mind, he used to go to the nursery inside the leisure centre, no problems. He didn't ever come home talking no kind of rubbish. You get me? He started this nursery on Valeswood Road. All of a sudden, get in the cupboard. So after a while, I started listening to him, and he started saying word for word, "You always, every time you come here, you're always crying. Get in the cupboard, right?" They was locking this little girl had black hair, yeah. And every morning I used to drop him to nursery. This little girl used to cry and hold on to her parents. After about a week of this getting to the cupboard business, yeah, I went to the nursery people. I said, whatever you're doing in front of my child, yeah, he can talk, so stop doing it. Another 2 weeks passed, get in the cupboard. You're always crying. This is why we don't like you. Word for word, everything that these people said to this child, my son would come home. Young Money, he'd come home and reenact it with his own toys. Boom. It got to me, yeah. Until one day I was outside the nursery. All of the parents was waiting to go in. So I started asking people, does your child come home and talk about getting the cupboard too? I started asking everybody in it, because at that point I knew exactly what child it was. The one that was holding on to her mum that didn't want to go there. Boom now. After that day, the nursery closed down. It went under new management. No one couldn't go back there again, right? And on top of that, yeah, right, there was no explanation. None. We went there one day, it was just closed down. The next day, literally, we went there, there weren't no, you couldn't come in. So listen to your kids, people. Listen to them playing, yeah. Another one with Katarina. Miss Phillips, yeah, Downham. I'm telling you, I'm recording it. Katarina was bullied from when she was 5 years old, bro, by Miss Phillips. Yeah. Until when my son was 8 years old, young man, I was like, do you know what, yeah? You've been bullying this Katarina chick. He would come home. Katarina, every minute, Katarina, where? And big words as well, like big adult words. One time he said to me, Mum, I'm uncomfortable. This teacher's making me uncomfortable. The way that she used to bully the little girl. Making that like Katarina's bad and all of these things. Yeah, I'm calling that people's name because at the end of the day, if the parents want to sue, yeah, because psychologically, when she goes to therapy, all she's going to be talking about is Miss Phillips, and I will back her up, bruv. I will back her up. She got bullied from the age of 5 years old. So yeah, I am glad and thankful for all of the nursery staff at the library, down in leisure centre, all of the nursery staff, I'm grateful because they showed Young Money what it was meant to be like. So when he saw things that wasn't meant to be happening, he came home and acted them out, and that saved at least 2 children's life, yeah. So Katarina, I got you. All 100 years later, I told people I got you. You see me though, because it hurt me. It affected other families. Do you get it? And these things, when your child's being bullied at school, you don't, especially by teachers, you don't realise that it's going to affect a whole nother family. Well, it did, Miss Phillips, it did. And I had to take my child out to school before I do certain things to her, yes. But this very day that I didn't ever go back to that school, I made sure I told Katarina's parents, this woman has been bullying your kid since she was 5 years old. And if Katarina was looking at me with tears in her eyes was red, bruv. Her eyes went from white to red, like what, somebody. And at that time, yeah, I'm still young in it, so I don't know what to do about these things other than be violent in it, and that's not the case. It's not the key. It's not the way to go about things in it. But I'm telling you now, if she wants to press charges, I will be there in court. Remember, I don't go nowhere, you know. I'll be there in court, right side of Katarina, saying, yeah, she did it, and she's wicked. Yeah, turning people's children mad. But I'd like to say thank you, Downham Leisure Centre, for showing my son, Young Money, how it's meant to be done. Yeah, no apology, from Valeswood Nursery. No apology. They just closed it down. So someone was putting that little girl in the cupboard, yeah. I wonder if her parents got justice for that. But it just made me think that, bruh, nothing could get past Young Money. All to the other day up here, someone bothered him, and then the police had to come and speak to us. And he was telling them the license plate, everything. And I was like, raw. And I was like, yeah, that's how he is. He was raised well. Not just by me. As I said, he had good teachers. Gang, gang. Laters.